Hello everybody, Survivor Driver here, riding right beside you on yet another daily commute, and finally the snow has stopped. Finally. It's actually a lot of blue sky out here today. Oh boy, I'll tell you, it'll be dangerous tonight though, because it's going to hit like -4, -5, so a lot of this is going to turn to ice, so you're going to have to be super careful tonight. But today's musical selection is going to be by an old band by the name of Yes, called Close to the Edge. We'll give you the opening portion of it. It's pretty wild, it's pretty intense musicianship. I really like it, it's high energy. And there's a few things to talk about. Again, the news is just relentless out there these days. It's just absolutely phenomenal. But you'll see here that Jody Wilson-Raybould, I should say, not Bolt, has resigned. Now, Trudeau, I think it's just absolutely clear now, Trudeau wanted her to interfere in the legal proceedings, criminal legal proceedings against some of the people that worked for SNC-Lavalin, and the criminal charges were bribery, corruption, money laundering. You know, this is pretty serious stuff, and these guys wanted her to get involved and influence these proceedings. She chose not to, and so she was fired from that position and knocked down a few pegs to Minister of Veteran Affairs. And knocked down a few pegs was actually how her own father described this situation. So subsequently, just today, I think, it was either yesterday or today, she has resigned. And now here's the thing, is that apparently she has lawyered up, and in her resignation pointed out that she was aware that people wanted her to give her side of the story. And so now she's lawyered up, and she has lawyered up with an ex-Supreme Court judge representing her, which is pretty big guns to be pulling out there. So what is in the offing here? I think she's going to come out and come clean. Her father has made some pretty intense comments regarding this whole situation, and pointing out that his daughter is 100% right for getting rid of that job and keeping her integrity instead. So it sounds like this guy's done a damn good job of raising his daughter, and I think you could see some real blowout from all of this. And so here's the thing, is that if we do see a kind of a fallout from this, it may be intense enough to absolutely destroy Trudeau's chances of getting in on the next election, which is not very far away. I mean, this is coming up really close to the next elections, Canadian federal elections. And if that is the case, what will happen with Maxime Bernier? Because I can tell you right now, if Trudeau is so decimated by this that there's no way in hell that he could possibly win, I'm going to be voting for Maxime Bernier. I'm going to leave the Conservatives on the side of the road, because they're not, to me, they're just not coming across as very conservative at all at this point. You know, there's lots of people out there. Well, I mean, I guess you could say they're conservative, but they're just not hitting the mark for a lot of people that would consider themselves conservative or on the right side of the political equation. And so this may be an opportunity for Bernier to just step right in and take things over here. People should not be discounting this guy. For a lot of Canadians, he's saying all the right things. He's kind of, you know, I hate to jump on that same old bandwagon, but he is kind of putting Canada first, like the Trump is putting in America first, you know, and nationalism is just on the rise everywhere, and we'll get to that a little later on. Now listen, something else I wanted to talk about was this. I'm not a fan of Starbucks. I'm not a fan of Howard Schultz. I don't like what he was doing in the U.S. presidential election by saying that I don't have a problem with helping refugees. What I have a problem with is classifying everybody that doesn't like where they're living as a refugee and giving them free stuff. It's not appropriate. It's unfair to the people that have built the nations where these kinds of things are taking place, like in the United States with Schultz. And wow, are the roads ever clear today? Wow, fantastic, fantastic. So I saw Schultz having a little bit of a press conference where he was giving his take on this new Green Deal. And man, he did not have anything good to say about it, and he's 100% right. So it was fantastic to see. Now, I got to give the guy credit. What's going on here is I'm kind of paraphrasing what he was saying, but basically what he was saying is that the left now is just throwing slogans against the wall to see what sticks, and they have to be able to do more than that. And he was, you know, basically describing the new Green Deal as that. And he's saying that they're not being honest with the American people that support this new Green Deal. They're not being honest with the American people. They're not being accurate in what is possible and what is not possible. And so he's stepping in, because it's obvious he was a supporter of the Democratic Party. It's actually the Democrat Party, as Trump has pointed out. And he probably was hoping for some kind of legitimate evolution of that party, so that he would have somebody to support. And, you know, I mean, it does sound like he loves the United States, and he wants it to continue on down a particular road. Now, some people might not agree with that road, but he's seeing all of those chances being lost because of how the Democrats have evolved. And so he's running as an independent, and he just slandered the new Green Deal. Now, on top of that, you've got Mitch McConnell pulling a little tactic here that is just excellent. I can't see how it's going to backfire, but it's a great idea, and we'll get on to what this tactic that Mitch McConnell has just announced is right after this tune by Yes, Close to the Edge. Here we go. there you go, folks. That's yes, close to the edge. One of the most intense openings to any tune you'll ever hear. I just love that. And so here we go. Mitch McConnell is going to initiate a vote on the new Green Deal. And so I guess the tactic here is to get all of these people, these people in the Democrat primaries, to go on record as having voted. Gotta watch here. There's big clumps of ice on the road still. Getting these guys on record, so that when they run for president, they can't back out of having supported the new Green Deal. And so it's a pretty wise tactic, because it's not possible. It's not possible. This new Green Deal is just, there's no way that this can work. It's what was it? Howard Schultz from Starbucks was saying that apparently to do what they want to do in terms of making all the buildings green in the States, it's like 3,000 buildings a day they would have to modify, and it's not going to happen. It's not possible. It's absolutely impossible. It's like you said, they're lying to the American public, and they're going to pay for that. They're going to pay for that. So actually, people should be watching this Schultz guy, because he's kind of like the softer tone Trump, it looks like to me. Might be a miscategorization, but I don't think so. He's kind of pulling a Trump, where he's saying people got to be realistic and honest with the American people. So I think that's kind of what he's doing here, this Schultz guy. But anyway, one of the other things that I wanted to touch on is this relentless march to nationalism that's going on all over the planet. Now again, with Dr. Steve Turley, he is pointing out that now in Poland, all the statistics are showing that got to be really careful here, because I'm walking on other people's sidewalks here. I'm cutting in where I shouldn't be. That the youth of Poland are all going conservative now. And I think this lends credence to what I was saying about social proof. And that as people, especially younger people, see their fathers and their mothers all going to what is kind of recognized as a conservative slant, and oh, here's a gentleman that's impaired sight, all going to that conservative slant. And look at this guy work, man. This is unbelievable. You've got to admire people that do this. Thank God they cleared the sidewalk for this gentleman. Unbelievable. And so as these people are, I'm not sure if I should step in and help this gentleman. He seems to know what he's doing. Hello? Are you looking for the crosswalk? Yeah, it's back here. It's back. Oh, sorry, I got a bike here, so be careful. I'm right beside, but it's back here about another 5 feet here, all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Okay. So, yeah, they're going to all slant toward nationalism, because they see their parents doing it. They're seeing their countries getting decimated. People being allowed in that haven't contributed anything to their societies, getting a free ride all over the place, and they're also being ridiculed for being proud of their heritage. And you know, you can only do that so long. So that jig is up, I think. And you know, just to go back to what George Soros was saying yesterday in this piece that he wrote for For Market Watch, an economic magazine, that that Europe is sleepwalking into oblivion. And I'm not too sure they're sleepwalking there, George. I'm not sure there's anything they can do about it. What are you going to do about it? The only thing they could possibly do now, I think, is to really impose violent measures. Let's just call it for what it is. It's just violence. And I don't think they have that option. In a modern society now, in a modern civilization like in Europe, you're going to start imposing violent measures on people because they're not going along with your globalist dream. It's not going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. So I don't think they're sleepwalking into oblivion. I don't think it was doable in the first place. I don't think it ever was really that doable. And their dream is falling apart. Wow, busy place tonight. It's probably going to be busy as hell in my store because a lot of people couldn't get out and do shopping last night. We actually had to close down an hour early last night because we had so many people. Couldn't make it into work. So it's probably going to be a little bit crazy today. Yeah, so now you've got Poland. Hey! You've got Polish conservative, or Polish youth going conservative, and as we've discussed yesterday, Spain is starting to go conservative. Germany, it's even starting, and that's kind of the powerhouse. That's what's holding all of Europe together. So I think these guys are, done. I think they're done like dinner. Anyway, that's it for today's Survivor Driver. Nice to not have a snowstorm to deal with. Thanks for joining me, and I authorize you to be a complete pervert and fondle that like button on my behalf. We'll see you next time, folks. Thanks again.